Now, are you someone trying to get more shaft lean at impact, but whenever you try to do it, you either hit the ball way out to the right or you even shank the golf ball? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about a problem that you'll be doing there in getting this shaft lean that'll be causing both of those issues, and exactly how to get shaft lean properly to hit good, nice, compressed golf shots. So I'm Jonathan Chan with JChownGolf. Let's dive right into it. So shaft lean at impact, where those hands are getting ahead of the golf ball. This is certainly something, of course, you do want in your golf swing to some degree, because one, it's going to help you compress the golf ball. Two, you're going to hit it a little bit further via de-lofting the club face. And three, you're just going to have better contact in general. But where a lot of golfers go wrong with shaft lean is their effort on application to this movement. So how they're trying to get this into their golf swing, because this will result in shanks, this will result in open club face massive pushes if you do it wrong. So what golfers are doing, they're trying to physically push and force the hands into that position. They're trying to physically manipulate that shaft lean position. So shoving the hands forward, trying to do it all with the hands and arms. But makes sense, doesn't it? Because you're trying to do this move, you're trying to get this forward shaft lean at impact. A lot of times, it's called hands ahead of the ball at impact. So that makes you think, okay, then I need to physically try to do that with my hands. But if you try to do that, this is what's going to happen. So with me trying to get these hands and physically force them ahead of that golf ball at impact, that is actually going to diverge my hands away from my body. So if my hands get further away from my body as I'm trying to push them forward to get this shaft lean, then my club is going to do the same thing. So I could be coming down on path very nicely, and then if I'm trying to physically force those hands ahead of me, hands are going to go out, club's going to go out, which means my strike location is going to move more on the outside of the ball line, which generally means instead of the center of the club face, I'm going to hit the hosel. So for a lot of you guys, when you try to do this, I know a lot of you are non-stop shanking it when you're trying to get that shaft lean in there. That's because you're physically trying to manipulate it and you're physically trying to get those hands forward. So that's just one area. The second one is the shaft and the shaft's orientation at impact has a massive effect on this, the club face and where it points. So the more I put my hands forward at impact, the more the club face will actually start to open up. So you can imagine if we're trying to excessively do it and our club face doesn't have the environment to match that up, we're going to hit the ball out to the right, where conversely, if I do the opposite, my hands being back at impact, or a casting or early release type of move here, the club face will actually start to close. So our hand position has a massive influence. So you can imagine there is something you have to do there to make sure that shaft lean works for you. So how do we get this shaft lean at impact to where we won't have any of these negative things happen because of it? Ultimately, two things. We need to, one, have a square enough club face. So we need that club face as we're coming into delivery here to be either matching our spine angle, which would be square, or maybe even slightly more down than that. That's going to encourage them for you when you move through that golf ball and then you have those hands ahead of the ball, the club face not to open up quite as much. So we need to have a square club face at the least coming down. So that's one of them. And two, what that will encourage, and this, the second one, will really be so you get this shaft lean naturally, and that is rotation. So if you watch a lot of my videos, I talk a lot about rotation. So when you rotate through the golf ball, shaft lean will happen naturally. So even if I just stand here at setup and I just rotate my body, I'm going to do nothing with my hands and arms at all, and you're going to see what my hands and arms are going to do. See, I'm barely even gripping the club at all here. Look, I can even just grip it like this. So you see I'm doing nothing at all. You can see that club will start to lean forward. Those hands will get ahead. You'll have that forward shaft lean. So we need to rotate through the golf ball, because if we're rotating through the golf ball, then that negates the shanking that's going to happen. Because like we said, if we're just trying to physically get those hands going forward through manipulation and through arms and hand movement, we're going to have the hands moving out in front of us. That means the club is going to move outside the ball line coming through the golf ball. But when we rotate through the golf ball, the hands will actually naturally curve in and around you. So now your club is going to be traveling on the swing arc correctly. It's not going to be diverging out of the ball line like this. It's going to be really hitting it with nice contact control. Then you're going to have the shaft lean, and you're going to have the good impact or good striking, and you get the ball straighter. So you need the club face to be square, and you need to rotate through the golf ball. So let's get into some good drills. So the first one, square club face. Now I'm going to put a card up here because it's a big topic on how to get a square club face, because it's ultimately different for everyone depending on your grip type. So again, a card for that, but we'll talk about it a little bit here because it's such an important part of getting shaft lean. You have to have the club face square, because if it's open, you're never going to get functional shaft lean, because more shaft lean opens up the club face even more. So you need it to be at the minimum square. So ultimately from here, like we said, could be grip, could be your wrist angles, could be anything like that, which if you watch that card, it will go into that more in depth. Otherwise, this would be an incredibly long video. So a little thing we're going to do here, and we're going to adapt this drill to one with the rotation. That's going to get us shaft lean. So it'll all be one drill. So we know the most important part of what is going to create the shaft lean with the club face is how that club face is moving coming into delivery here. So delivery being from shaft parallel to the ground into the golf ball. So if we can have a drill here where we get and we isolate this movement here at shaft parallel to the ground in the downswing and make sure that club face is square, then if we don't do anything funny going through the golf ball, we're going to have that club face being square at impact. So what we need to do here, this is going to be kind of like a pump drill. So a pump drill is where we're getting into a certain position, we're repeating it a good few times, and then we're swinging from there. So our club face portion of this is getting to where that club face is slightly toed down here. Now your feelings in your wrist, in your left wrist, will be different depending on your different grip style. So for me, I have a slightly weaker golf grip. I have slightly weaker of standard. So for me to get that club face slightly toed down, where the grooves are slightly pointing down towards the ground, I have to feel quite a lot of left wrist flexion or bowing in there. So that'll be my feel. If you had more of a standard grip, you wouldn't have to feel that quite as much, but still a little bit of left wrist bowing will help quite a lot. So that's what I'm feeling. I'm making sure my club head is slightly inside my hands as well, just to promote a good path. Really just doing that a few times. Club face being nicely toed down is the most important thing. Couple, 1, 2, and on the third one, a little swing up and go. So just a little shot there. But that little shot is just encouraging me to have a good club face through the golf ball. So shaft parallel to the ground, I want that club face to be nicely, slightly toed down, good. And again, slightly inside my hands as well. And now just clip a ball, nice and soft, doing it there. That's going to make sure that this is nicely under control. So a drill will be the best way to work on getting this movement in there. So the second portion to this drill, which is going to target the rotation, but it's also going to target the shaft lean. Like we said, shaft lean is created by rotation, but this drill that we're going to tell you here is going to get it into your golf swing a little bit by forcing it to happen. So what we do, grab an alignment stick. Now we grip that alignment stick up the left-hand side of the golf club here. So you can see how, as I'm gripping it, I've got only a little bit coming down the shaft here, but I've got a lot of it coming up the left-hand side here. So now a lot of you are going to be familiar with this drill if you're trying to get shaft lean in there. Now a lot of you are going to be familiar with shanking the ball when you do this drill as well, because what you'd be doing, of course, is you'll be shoving the hands forward, because the whole goal of this drill is to not have this stick slam into your side, because it hurts when you're hitting the shot. So a lot of you will be really trying for that not to happen, and you'll be shoving those hands forward, doing it. We know what happens, a shank. So if we are turning through the golf ball whilst doing this drill, another thing is going to happen, which is the same thing, and that is the stick isn't going to hit you, but without the shank. So we're going to get that shaft leaning forward if we're turning through the golf ball with this drill, but we just got that extra incentive, that extra feedback, so we can see the quality of our shaft lean. So make sure, again, this same drill, shaft parallel to the ground, making sure that toe is slightly angled down, matching your spine angle. Pump it a few times, good couple pumps, so 1, 2, and then 3. You turn through that golf ball, making sure you're rotating. If you're rotating nice and efficiently, this will not be hitting your side. So let's have a go here, and then it's going to have a good few repetitions of this. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. So really, really good one to have some good little practice on. And here's the thing with this. Like we said, club face square, really turn through the golf ball. Even though this is only a small version of the swing, but it gives you the idea and the concept of what creates this shaft lean. So you can imagine it applies the same with a longer golf swing. You just need that club face to remain square, and you need to keep your body turning through that golf shot here. So again, let's do one more with this drill and then we'll do one without. So 1, 2, 3, there we go. And this stick very might hit you, but it could hit you post impact. If it hits you post impact, that's fine. So there we go, good number of them. We could repeat it with a golf ball. We could do, let's say, the drill, feeling without the ball in your practice swing, and then feel it again whilst you're going and hitting a normal golf shot, but really quite deliberate and controlled. Square club face, rotating through the golf ball nice and freely. So guys, as you can see there, you do not need to shove the hands ahead to be able to get this shaft lean. Really do not do that, because it's going to absolutely destroy you. So make sure club face is square, make sure you're rotating through the golf ball there. And if you want more info on rotation, I'll put a card up here for more in depth on rotation, because again, it's a topic that's way more complicated than just rotating. This drill though, doing it, you will rotate quite nicely through it. But if you want even more info about rotation, I have a course out called The Ultimate Guide to Rotation in a Downswing, and that is everything you want to know about rotation. It gives you a coaching level of knowledge of rotation, and it also gets you to where your specific problem in regards to it, you can have a nice little practice structure from that as well, so you know exactly how to practice for your own golf swing to get rotation into your downswing. So this is on an app called Skillest, and I'll put a link down in the description to go download the app. All you need to do is then search my profile. Once you've searched my profile, there's a little button that's called More, that's next to the online lesson button, and then you click that, click online courses, and boom, there is the course. So if you want to pick that up, you're more than welcome to do that. So again, if we can get that nice square club face, and we can get that nice rotation going through the golf ball, we will have shaft lean. You don't have to worry about physically forcing the hands ahead. So if you found this video helpful, of course, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button too, to be notified every time I put out a video. So let's get that shaft lean, and let's do it without these bad shots.